Hey gamers, if you're looking for a worker placement game with some hand management and resource management, all about being the best ruler of Maya history, then you might want to check out Ahau, Rulers of Yucatan. In this game, you will use your different numbered cards to move to different regions on the board, as well as set your strength for the round so that you can resolve conflicts with other players who are trying to go to the same region as you. At those regions, you will pick up various pyramid tiles, which you will ultimately try and put in your pyramid for various rewards as well as points. You will also then place workers on different city tiles that are surrounding the region that you placed your ruler in, which will let you summon gods to get special abilities and will also let you eventually pick up some different resources if you choose to produce that round, and you'll use those resources to, on a future turn, build some buildings for, again, different abilities or points as well. Ultimately, you are just trying to have the most points in the game, which you will do in a variety of ways, including getting your little tokens onto different god temples and fulfilling scoring objectives that come on those. There is a lot going on in this game. There's a lot of moving pieces. There's a lot of choices turn to turn about whether you want to produce or build, whether you want to go on this god tile, that god tile to try and summon a god or get different abilities or set yourself up for a future turn, because it does feel on a lot of turns like you're doing very little, but again, you're setting yourself up for bigger turns later where you're going to score a majority of your points. The turn style is also interesting, where you're going to resolve the different regions in order, so you're not really sure if you're going to be going before somebody else or not, which might make a difference to what god you want to summon, things like that, in kind of a reactionary way. And again, you are just trying to get on those temples to ultimately score some points that way as well, and possibly beat your opponents to those, or make sure that you're going to the ones that have the best scoring options for what everybody is kind of going for. I really like the variety in this game and the choices turn to turn. I also appreciated the fact that I never really felt like I couldn't do anything on my turn, even when you had those conflicts where maybe, if two players go to the same region, one of them is going to get kicked out of that region based on strength. But even when I was kicked out of a region, I never felt like that completely ruined my turn. I never felt like, okay, well, now I can't do anything and it's just kind of a pass. I always felt like I could still do something. Maybe it wasn't exactly what I wanted to do. Maybe I wasn't going to get as good of a turn as I was originally, but I still could do something. And again, setting myself up for those future turns, which was really beneficial. I did have a couple of small issues with the game. I thought some of the iconography was a bit off. Some of the colors didn't match, like resources printed on things versus the actual resource tiles. I thought that some of the gods looked really similar, which was kind of confusing, especially once you had people placed on the god tiles. That was really hard to see which one was which at times. That was less of an issue in a lower player count game, but still, I wish that there was a little bit of an easier way to kind of put people out on the board so that things weren't blocked off. But other than some of those minor things where iconography was a little bit iffy or finicky, I did think that the game overall was a really solid game, and I really enjoyed playing it. Again, I really appreciate when things don't make me feel like I'm boxed out of turns completely, even if I have to readjust or reevaluate. I like being able to still always do something. I also did think that maybe the game was a little bit long for what it offers, but because of how turns work and how rounds work, where you're not going to pass the round until a certain number of things have been produced for that round. So if people are building a lot, the round's going to be longer. If people are producing a lot, the round's going to be shorter. So I did think that sometimes when people were able to build a lot more and the rounds were a lot longer, it kind of overstated its welcome, but that's going to vary a lot play to play. So other times I definitely felt like I wanted more out of the game. I wanted more time to be able to do more stuff. So that does vary a lot, but it really depends on your opinion of game length. But overall, I thought this one was a solid choice. I enjoyed it a lot, even though it has the mechanic of like playing all your cards and then picking them up, which is something I'm not usually big on. I thought that it worked for this because it then made you reevaluate your choices for what regions you want to go to versus what you want to keep in your hand for like strength and things like that for those conflicts. So I did think that the game overall worked, and I had a lot of fun playing it. So you can check out my full review on the blog today.